Greetings, all you movie junkies and entertainment lovers, and welcome to the first ever edition of Movie Junkies Media Talk. I am your host, King Brannis, and I am joined by my co-host, Javier. How's it going today, Jav?
Oh, it's going fine. There was a thunderstorm passing by, but I think it's gone now. So I'm really feeling good today, uh, and definitely excited to talk about the topics.
Great. As always, I hope. All right, so today, guys, we have got about roughly 5 main topics to talk about. And our first topic today is this. One of the movies that, was one of the most anticipated films of this year was, of course, Godzilla vs. Kong, which has been pushed around quite a bit with the release dates, but we'll get to that in a second. But before that whole thing happened, we actually did indeed have some actually exciting news about the film, and that is this. Junkie XL is apparently confirmed to be scoring the film. And it was Adam Wingard who basically confirmed this, and he shared a photo of Junkie XL's studio. And Junkie XL, for those of you who are perhaps not quite as familiar with his work, includes Mad Max Fury Road, Sonic the Hedgehog, Terminator Dark Fate, Scoob, and among others. So he's definitely been doing quite a lot of stuff, especially in the past couple of years, and his popularity only seems to be, growing. So now, as of right now, we've had a different composer for each one of the MonsterVerse films. But I myself was really hoping that Bear McCreary, who did Godzilla King of the Monsters, would be coming back to compose the score for this one, especially considering that brilliant new rendition of the original theme. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're doing that, and they want to stick to, doing a different composer for each movie, which is fine. But honestly, I mean, if you can't get Bear McCreary to come back, then I have to say Junkie XL is a great pick. And out of all his work, the one that stands out to me the most is Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, I still listen to that soundtrack all the time. And if he can bring that same level of intensity that he did to that score, to Godzilla vs. Kong, then however epic those monster battles are about to get a whole lot more epic. So those are my thoughts. Harv, what are your thoughts on Junkie XL being confirmed to score Godzilla vs. Kong?
I think he's a great pick, in my opinion. He definitely can probably bring so much intensity in the kaiju battles and everything, and especially Kong and Godzilla when they finally clash. And I think it's just a really good pick. He's been on a roll quite recently, and I think I wish Bear McCreary came back, but honestly, I think this would be my second pick. That's
so if you could pick anyone else to compose, this Junkie XL would actually be your second pick?
Yes. Well, he would be definitely the top. Well, definitely at the top.
Yes.
Of who I would pick.
All right. Well, that's some very exciting news. So staying on the topic of Godzilla vs. Kong, with good news, unfortunately, comes some bad news. And our next piece of news today is the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong has been moved off of its November 20th, 2020 release date and has now been pushed back to May of 2021, which now makes it a full year away from its original release date, which was sometime in May of this year. So, by the way, it is important to mention that it has moved just as many times as the New Mutants. Now, we haven't been waiting for it as long as the New Mutants, but it has been pushed in terms of the amount of new release dates it's received It has been pushed about the same amount of times. So I don't know if it's too early for us to say whether or not it's cursed, but I think we're getting there. Now, Warner Brothers have actually been having a very big reshuffle of all of their movies recently. Tenet, which of course for the longest time stuck to its July 17th release date, finally got pushed back. Didn't get pushed back by much, got pushed back to July 31st. So we only have to wait about maybe 2 more weeks, I think, for that now. But that's still on the way. And I think that that may have something to do with the fact that the theaters have to be open sometime before a new release comes out. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard something about that. So with that getting pushed back, Wonder Woman 1984 is another film that has been pushed back again. So that is now coming out on October 2nd, which makes it almost a full year from its original November 2019 release date. So we've been having to wait quite a while for that one as well. As well as another very, very notable piece of this news, though, about Godzilla vs. Kong is the fact that The Matrix 4 has been pushed back. I believe it's a full year, so that's not coming out until 2022 now. And I believe, from what I understand, Godzilla vs. Kong has actually taken its spot. So it's almost like Warner Brothers saw that they had an opening and decided to fill it. So everything's been pushed back a little bit, and I don't think there's much to worry about here. I don't think they're going to be going back to film new scenes. I think this is very much just Warner's decided they really wanted to fill something with that May spot, and I think the movie probably has a much better chance in next year, especially in the May spot. Am I disappointed as a kaiju fan, as a Godzilla fan, as a Kong fan, that I now have to wait another full year from its original release date? Yeah, that bums me out. But honestly, I understand it. I can see where they're coming from. That's why I think they moved it. I really don't think there's any other reasons. Adam Wingard did put out a full statement on it, and he didn't really specify. I'm not going to read the statement because he didn't really specify as to why the film moved. But he put out a little statement. So if any of you guys are interested in seeing what he said, then you can look that up for yourselves. But it's really nothing too special. If he said something noticeable in the statement, then I probably would have read it on here. But that's my thoughts. I think that they're just, they decided to fill that spot. What are your thoughts, though, Harv, on Godzilla vs. Kong being pushed back now an entire year off of its original release date?
Well, I'm disappointed. I am disappointed, but I am still really excited for the film because it's Godzilla vs. Kong. It's a movie that I've been waiting for so long now. But just to wait another year is just really bums me out. Like I thought it was going to be 2020's like the best movie of this year. But considering everything that's happened, and with also the reshuffling, and it's just I'm just a tiny bit disappointed. Hopefully, I don't think there's going to be any more pushing back or pushing forward. I think they should just keep the release date now for this film and probably for many other Warner films as well with the reshuffling.
And so you're very disappointed, but I mean, do you think that my theory is right, that they really just it was more about them filling that release date rather than there actually being a problem with the movie? Because another thing that I forgot to mention was they definitely 100% could have met that November release date. So do you think my theory is right?
I think your theory like definitely has some strong suits. I think they probably definitely did that. I and I wouldn't be surprised if it definitely works for putting it in May. But I
You
guess
think it will do better in May?
yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, so be sure to jump into the comments down below if you have any extra thoughts about Godzilla vs. Kong. Anyway, so let's move on to the next topic today. And that is this. Of course, the other week, this past week, I think it was on Thursday. Was it on Thursday, the PlayStation 5 reveal
Yes,
event?
it was on
Or,
Thursday.
it was on Thursday. And Sony finally revealed the PlayStation 5, not just, the games, but also what, of course, the console is going to look like, all of the accessories it's going to come with, all this kind of stuff. And overall, I have to say I was pretty impressed. But now, just talking about just the games at the moment, we'll talk about the console maybe in a second. The games, first of all, I thought it was a big mistake to show Spider-Man first because honestly, it seems like that's the one that everybody's the most hyped for, and I really think that they should have ended with that one. Um, but that's just my opinion. That they decided to start it with a bang. They said that we're gonna let the games do the talking, and they certainly did. Spider-Man Miles Morales, we're actually getting a full game on Miles Morales. Now, there seems to be a bit of confusion on whether or not this is a DLC. I believe that's not the case. Apparently, this is, in fact, a full, proper game like the previous one was. But they're also working on an actual Spider-Man 2 with Peter Parker. So I actually think that's really cool. I think it's great that Miles Morales is getting his own game. It seems like the character's popularity has only been growing, especially since Into the Spider Verse, and since they set him up in that first game, which I loved very very much. So I'm very happy to see that he's going to be getting his own game. And even if it was a DLC, I would still be ludicrously excited because it looks great. The graphics were great and everything. Yeah, very very excited about that. A couple of other games. It was mostly original stuff. A lot of it, there were definitely a couple of duds. But there obviously were some notable stuff. Obviously, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That was one that a lot of people are talking about. Of course, we're getting a remake of Demon Souls. We're getting Horizon 2 and everything. And I think mostly everything else is pretty much original stuff. I'm getting Godfall. We're getting that Destruction All Stars or whatever with all of it, which is very Fortnite-esque in an arena and everything. But the one that everybody is talking about is, of course, Resident Evil 8, or Village, as it's called. Of course, just like when they revealed Resident Evil 7, and everybody was surprised, wait, this is a Resident Evil game? What? They did the same thing again. And I have to say, as somebody who really honestly was not a fan of like the first 6 Resident Evil games, I have to say I'm very happy on this new direction that they are taking because Resident Evil 7 was almost like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. And this looks completely different. It looks like it's got witches, we've got werewolves and stuff. But at the same time, it's still going to be in the universe of Resident Evil. So that's pretty exciting. And I like how they kind of tricked people at first by just showing the Village title, and then it went to the numeral symbols and everything. So overall, all the games and everything, pretty cool. So Harv, what are your thoughts on just the games right now?
Well, I definitely like agree with you. Like, Spider-Man Miles Morales was definitely the probably the most exciting game out of the bunch. Like, and starting with that, I guess, yes, it is something to basically hype everyone up, but they could have maybe put on maybe another game, maybe Hitman 3, because that's also a game that, well, I'm also really excited for. And maybe Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. But that was the one that gave me the most excitement. It just looks so good. And the Spider-Man PS4 was a really good game.
Yes. Is there any other of the games that you want to talk about before we move on to the console itself, like the Sackboy game or anything?
Oh yeah, the Sackboy game. Like, we're not getting a Little Big Planet 4. We're actually just getting Sackman's. I think it's Sackman or Sackboy.
I believe it's Sackboy. I'm pretty sure it's Sackboy, a big adventure. That's what it's called, I believe.
But yeah, he's getting his own like 3D like platformer, I think. Like it is definitely like a change up from the Little Big Planet games. Like I'm honestly pretty interested and excited
And
for
out
that
of
game.
all of the games that they showcased, which one for you is the most exciting one that you are
Uh,
most excited to play?
Most excited to play. Well, there were some good ones, but it had to be Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Miles Morales. Like
Very good.
it's there were some good ones, but honestly, how they showed it and everything, like it just looks so good, and I'm so excited. It just like it looks like Spider-Man PS4, but it's gonna have a completely unique story, and it's gonna have Miles Morales. So honestly, really excited for that game.
All right. Now, of course, let's talk about very quickly the console itself. Now, of course, the big thing that, of course, everyone is talking about is the new white motif, which, of course, is very different from what they have been doing for so long now with PS2, PS3, PS4, and I think with, sticking to the black. And some people don't seem to be too happy with the white. I don't mind it. I think it looks fine. I think I will say this though. I got to get this off my chest. The whole digital edition, completely unnecessary. I don't know what the point of that is, especially if it's just going to be the same price as the regular edition. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the digital edition is very unnecessary, but that's me personally. What I think they should have done is instead of like showing the digital edition, um, I think they should have shown that here's the black edition, the all black edition. That I think that would have made a lot of people happy, because to me the most pointless and most disappointing and most ridiculous thing of the entire event was when they showed that, oh, by the way, we're going to have a digital edition of the console. That's never happened before. They didn't do that for PS4. They didn't do that for PS3. Why the hell they're doing it now, I don't know. So look, it is what it is. Hopefully, it's not the price isn't any different. Yeah, I don't know, and hopefully it doesn't cause any confusion. But yeah, so that's just me. Of course, the big thing, of course, and I think a lot of people were expecting this. You're going to be able to play 4K Blu-rays on the disc version, which of course is very exciting and everything. Of course, you got new controllers and everything. I mean, the controller looks fine. It doesn't look it. I don't know. It doesn't look too much different from the PS4 controller, but it does look like a nice upgrade. It definitely like the sides, the actual handles on the side are definitely a little bit different. It's just a little bit curvier and everything. So maybe it will be easier to hold and everything. But overall, I like the look of it and everything. The only part that I wasn't a fan of was the whole introducing the idea of the digital edition. I guess the only other thing for me to say before I go to you, Harvey, is the fact that this is going to be the first PlayStation console in probably a while where uh, you're gonna have to have it on the side. That they definitely want you to have it on as it is displayed in this picture. Because I mean, you can have it on its side, but it'll definitely be rocking a bit back and forth. So yeah, so it looks like this will be one where everybody will have to have it sitting on the stand, which honestly I don't mind. I mean, it looks fine. So that's my thoughts on it. What about you, Harv? What do you think of the actual PlayStation 5 console itself?
I actually kind of liked it. It's definitely very different from all the PlayStations that we've got since so far. It's white, like I like the white on it. I don't know, it just really like it just got a unique feel to it. But that's really just me. Like I think just white just really looks nice on the controller and the console itself. And it's definitely got like a lot of new stuff. I heard that like I saw there was like a remote, like an actual PS5 remote
Yes,
controller. That is like I'm fine using the actual like
I actually think that's a nice addition.
yeah,
Have a
it
regular
is.
controller.
It's like this is like if you want to have it for movies and that stuff.
Yes, because that's what a lot of people do use PlayStation 4 stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people, the reason they bought, PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 was so that they could also, buy movies and stuff, and also, of course, you can watch Netflix and Prime and stuff through PS4. So, a lot of people use these consoles for a lot more than just gaming, and I think Sony knows that. So, I think that the remote is actually quite a nice little addition.
Yeah.
And some people were saying that they're going back to the original PlayStation with the white motif, but the original PlayStation honestly was more of a gray rather than a white,
Mhm.
if you go back and look.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very good. That is the PlayStation 5. Overall, very, very exciting. Um, yeah. So again, guys, be sure to jump in to the comments down below and share with us your thoughts. All right. So next up, this is something that I know you and me are probably very excited for, and that is this. One of the movies that is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Okay.
the original live action movie to be specific. And recently, some of the cast did a little get together, very much like what Josh Gad has been doing with the reunited part, except he wasn't there basically. Um, and at the end of that little reunion, there was essentially an announcement that they are partnering with Fathom Events to apparently bring it back to theaters this September for a limited screening celebrating the uh, 30th 30th anniversary. And I gotta say, as somebody who grew up with this movie, loving it, watching it multiple times, to me this will always be probably be the definitive version of Ninja Turtles. I mean, I think the most comic book accurate and the most kind of uh, you know the I guess what the quote unquote definitive version has since become the Millennium series, if you're looking for something that's the closest to the comic books. But I think that I think when most people think of Ninja Turtles, I honestly think that they think of the original movie, and I think that this is a great idea. Very happy that Fathom's doing it because of course they put on a lot of stuff and everything, and they're really the reason to thank that we get a lot of these anniversary screenings and stuff. And there's so many of us that have either haven't seen it on the big screen in a long time, or have never had the chance to see it on a big screen and with an audience. no less. So it's a completely different feeling as somebody who has, seen stuff like Jurassic Park and on the big screen with a live audience. Even after I've seen it, multiple times, um, it's a great feeling. And as somebody who is a big fan of this movie, I'm very happy that that we're going to be getting it. For a while there was some rumors and stuff going around that it wasn't going to be happening because of the recent events and everything. But I think September is a good date. I'm very excited. What do you think, Carl?
I am so happy just with this news. I love that it's coming to cinemas for its 30th anniversary. Like, dude, this is the film that I quote most of the time. Like, it's just such a fun film and everything, and I just having like an audience just watching the film on the big screen. It's gonna make me feel really, really happy. It's one of my all-time favorite films of all time, and I just really love just to see it. And I think September is a really great month to do this. I think they made a pretty good choice on putting it on September, and I'm just really just all around so excited.
All right, great stuff. All right, so now will move on to. Oh yeah, and again, if any of you guys have any thoughts, be sure to jump in the comments down below and let us know what you think. Whether or not you're excited to see that it's coming back to theaters, whether you've had the chance to see it in theaters, or if you haven't, be sure let us know in the comments down below. Now we move on to the final topic for today, and that is this. One of the things that, of course, folks like us, entertainment lovers, get excited for every year is, of course, Comic-Con, because that is when all the studios, get together and basically, give us a lot of, announcements, trailers, first looks, and stuff about a lot of, all the things that we love in the world of entertainment. And again, because of in light of the real world events, unfortunately Comic-Con is one of the many things that have essentially been cancelled, and I believe it is not happening this year at all. So that won't be happening until next year. So it looks like some of the studios are looking at doing alternate ways of essentially doing an event like Comic-Con. And it looks like the first studio to get on this whole bandwagon is DC. DC and Warner Bros. And they are doing this thing called DC FanDome. Now, some people have pronounced it fandom, but fandom is normally pronounced, or is normally spelt rather, without an E. So I believe they want it to be pronounced fandom, and honestly, in my opinion, it sounds a lot more cooler that it's called FanDome rather than just DC fandom, but whatever. I'm just going to refer to it as FanDome because it sounds a lot cooler to me. So what this is going to be is essentially is a almost like a virtual experience where you basically will get to go to the actual website where you get there like this, and you see, as you can see, first of all, I have to say this. When I first saw this image that is on the screen right now, I honestly thought this was like a DC Comics theme park or something. Like that's what it looks like, and this is all like the different lands. And I was like, whoa, but no. Apparently, this is what it will look like, and as you can see, we have a bunch of different areas. We have Uverse, Kidsverse, Insidersverse, Funverse, Watchverse, and basically, it's going to be like, so there'll be different places, different panels and stuff to watch, on all different things, depending on, what it is you are most interested in. And apparently it's going to be everything in the realm of DC Comics. So they're going to be talking movies, they're going to be talking games, they're going to be talking comics, they're going to be talking about everything. And apparently there's going to be lots of different, like, panels and stuff. It's going to be interesting to see. As of right now, the reaction has been mixed. Some people think that this isn't going to go well. I say let's wait and see. They're going to do this on August 22nd, so we still have actually quite a while to wait. And it's actually coming out around the time that Wonder Woman was supposed to come out. So I don't know if maybe this is the reason why Wonder Woman got pushed, because maybe they want to show. This is why they want to showcase a new trailer for it before it comes out. Because I don't know, because the previous date for Wonder Woman was August 14th. So I don't know. That could be one of the reasons. It might not be. I don't know. But anyway, uh, just a couple of the movies that they have basically said that will be a part of this include, Shazam, Wonder Woman, of course, Aquaman. Apparently, love the TV shows and everything, like Superman and Lois and everything. So there's a lot that it looks like they're planning to do with this, and apparently it's going to be a 24-hour virtual convention is basically what they say, and it's going to be TV, movies, games, comics, the whole nine yards basically. And I, for one, am actually very excited for this. But those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Harv, on this DC FanDome event?
I'm honestly really, really interested actually. Like, of course, sadly, since like Comic Con and all the conventions had to be like cancelled because of the all the recent stuff that's been happening in the world. I'm actually really interested on what DC FanDome is gonna feel like because it's going on for 24 hours. Like all the different stuff, like the movies, the shows, the games. I'll just like get to like go and see what like they're doing and everything. I think it's a really cool concept, and it's something that I hope it really turns out well, because this is something that I haven't really seen before. That I think this is like a first, like doing like a 24-hour like Comic Con based thing on like on just DC. I I'm just really excited for it, like and it's just gonna be very interesting to see how it's gonna go, and if maybe it really works, maybe they'll do it again. Maybe I don't know.
Yes, perhaps. I mean, you never know. I mean, in the world of, where everybody has, internet connection, this actually makes a lot of sense. Um, and I mean, what are you most excited to see? Like games, movies, TV? Like
I
what is it that you yourself are most excited to see come out of this event?
Probably the movies for me. Like I'm definitely interested to see like if they're gonna show like new trailers, or if they're gonna show us some teasers for like the
Mm.
upcoming movies, maybe for the DC cinematic universe. I'm just I'm just all around excited for
And
this.
I should mention that Zack Snyder has confirmed that apparently he will be a part of the event in some way. So for all we know, we will be getting our first look at Zack Snyder's the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Mm.
And a very, very credible source has confirmed a very credible source, which doesn't mean it might not be true, but someone who is a very credible source, I won't say who, has basically confirmed that they're going to announce the new Batman game at this event. Apparently, the
Ooh.
next Batman Arkham game, which of course people have been waiting for and dying for a long time. So, and it has been confirmed that they're working on something, and that it's going to be related to the Court of Owls or something. So, supposedly, this may be where they announce this. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But before we go, we're gonna just very very quickly talk about this breaking news, which is this. Of course, Fortnite is having
Oh yeah.
its new season, and apparently, there is a particular DC Comics character that will be joining this new season. Apparently, and
Oh, I
that
actually.
and this is just came out, so this is breaking news, and that is Aquaman. Apparently, Aquaman will be playable, I guess, for this new season of Fortnite. So there he is. There's Jason Momoa, old Fortnite in Fortnite form. Um, and I'm not someone who plays Fortnite, but for you, Harv, as somebody who does play Fortnite, what are your quick thoughts on this before we go?
Oh, this came out. No, I didn't even know about this. Oh my god! Like last season, uh, it had Deadpool, so I guess they're keeping it kind of like they're gonna
And wasn't
bring.
there also Star Wars as well?
Yeah, there was Star Wars like the season after before that. Like they definitely like crossing over like just really like comic characters and movies to to this their game, and I guess I I don't know. Just like I want to see just Aquaman holding an assault rifle and getting the victory royale. Oh gosh. And-
Well, there you go. So that I thought that would be a fun thing to kind of end their show on for today, folks. But that is going to be it for today. That's all of our topics for today. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd and whatever, links will be in the description down below. We hope to do this again this time next week. Any last words, Hoff, before we go?
well, this has been fun. I really hope to do it again next week, probably same time, same channel, and yeah, I
Yes.
hope to do it quite more often.
All right. Well, so that's gonna be it. So until next week, be sure to consume as much entertainment as humanly possible, and yeah, catch you later.